So unless you've been living under a rock the past decade, there's been a lot of discussion about the topic of truth and lies. The concepts of fake news, deepfakes, and conspiracy theories have gained a lot of attention, seemingly hitting a fever pitch in the past few years or so, with no sign of stopping. With so many of the weird claims populating the airwaves, some of the lesser-known ones are slipping through the cracks. Now usually, that'd be a good thing, but sometimes, curiosity just gets the better of you and you start reaching down into the unknown to see what you can pull up. Unfortunately for you, dear viewer, you will now be subject to these weird theories as well. I present to you 10 conspiracy theories that you may not have known about in the past decade. Modern Flat Earth. This one is a bit of a cheat, but it's so big at this point, I'd feel I'd be remiss to not bring it up. Flat Earth is basically what it implies, the belief that Earth is flat. Flat as a paper plate. Contrary to popular belief, the concept of flat Earth is a recent phenomenon. To put it simply, people have believed the Earth was round far longer than they've believed the Earth was flat. We've got a decent amount of proof and actual scientific study, including legit images from outer space, that our Earth is ball, or a spheroid. Basically, round. This conspiracy isn't exactly harmful, but it's a worrisome trend of rejection for certain areas of science. Colony collapse disorder. According to the EPA, colony collapse disorder is the phenomenon where honeybee drones, for a host of potential reasons, including disease, environment changes, and stress, basically vacate their hives in masses, leaving behind their queen and the immature bees to fend for themselves. For the longest time, a lot of people thought that this would lead to our apocalypse, even branching off into other conspiracies about how this was all caused, mainly placing the blame at the feet of megacorporations and cell phone towers. In actuality, the bees are fine. We are not heading for a Mad Max type dystopia where bees are a precious resource like oil. While CCD is an issue, the population for bees worldwide continues to grow. So, leave your black and yellow BDSM gear at home. It's not time to pull them out yet. Celebrity vampires. Genetics are cool. They determine a whole host of things that contribute to our being who we are. It's also a crapshoot. Sometimes you luck up, sometimes to bust, and sometimes you hit the jackpot. There are a lot of people out there who look amazing despite being up there in age. We can thank genetics for that. Or can we? If you ask around, you may be surprised to find out that some people believe that our beloved celebrities, Keanu Reeves, Pharrell Williams, and Nicolas Cage, to name just a few, are vampires, or at least, some type of immortal. A particularly weird theory that they've managed to back up through finding paintings of individuals that happen to resemble the stars a bit. It's a fun little theory, probably one of the more harmless ones on the list. Deepwater Horizon. On April 20th, 2010, the offshore oil drilling rig unexpectedly exploded, resulting in the injury of 17 workers and the death of 11. The explosion caused oil approximately 210 million gallons of oil to leak into the ocean, reaching 68,000 miles out. The explosion and the subsequent fire were caused by what engineers call blowout, which is basically an uncontrolled, unexpected release of oil or natural gas. Something that they couldn't have predicted or prepared for. But according to some, that's just the cover story. Conspiracies for the actual cause of the explosions mainly consist of two ideas. The first is that a group of extreme environment terrorists came out and blew up the rig. The second was that the explosion was the result of a strike from either a North Korean or a Russian sub. I will admit, I wouldn't have minded seeing Mark Wahlberg fight those in the film about the disaster. Ebola virus. Between 2013 and 2016, an outbreak of an incredibly fatal disease hit the continent of Africa's western coast, infecting nearly 30,000 individuals and killing over 10,000 over the course of 3 years. This disease is the Ebola virus, and it is a hemorrhagic fever. While the disease had existed since the 70s, the outbreak in Western Africa was the most widespread case of the disease. Unfortunately, the conspiracies surrounding the virus were plentiful and fueled further misinformation about the disease during times of chaos. Claims that the disease was manufactured as a bioweapon, claims that the disease didn't exist, claims that it was God punishing us for our various sins. Sounds eerily familiar, right? Well, buckle in, because we are about to hit present day. 5G causes the coronavirus. Coronavirus 2019, or COVID-19, is a disease that can cause severe respiratory issues and can lead to death in certain at-risk groups. 5G, the fifth generation of wireless technology. What do these things have to do with one another? Nothing. They aren't related at all. Except for the fact that there are some individuals out there who believe 5G is what caused the coronavirus pandemic we are currently living through. The idea is basically that radiation from the 5G towers are causing the human body to react as if it had a virus, or that the radiation is weakening our immune system, making us more vulnerable. Either way, radiation is now somehow involved. There are several other conspiracies related to the coronavirus, but this one is out there. Weather weapons. Straight out of G.I. Joe, there are some people out there that believe that the government has found a way to weaponize weather. Well-known grifter Alex Jones posited this theory in 2013, claiming that several recent natural disasters had been attacks on citizens with this weather-controlling superweapon. Now, this theory had existed before Alex Jones proposed it. There were claims that Hurricane Katrina was caused by this machine for nefarious purposes, but I personally wanted to add this one due to how supervillainous it was. CERN portal. CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, located in Geneva, Switzerland, is the largest particle physics laboratory in the world. In its walls are various particle accelerators of all types, including the famed Large Hadron Collider, the largest high-energy particle collider in the world. And with this technology, those brainy physicists have managed to open a portal to hell. Or so some think. The powerful LHC can smash different subatomic particles together at the speed of light, causing some to believe that that would open another dimension. If not that, it's capable of potentially creating a black hole. Either way, there are those out there that view this piece of tech as a doomsday device. They might be onto something though, as it may explain why Finland doesn't exist anymore to some. Finland doesn't exist. To the east of Switzerland lies the country of Finland, or so we thought. In 2015, a young man posted his thoughts on Reddit, thoughts that put forth the idea that Finland doesn't exist. What's there? Well, the ocean. Of course, the country does indeed exist, and even the young man finally recognized that fact. However, it didn't stop a bunch of people taking his word as truth and keeping the theory alive. Thankfully, it's not a lot of people, but still, as the story itself has proven, all it takes is one person. Humans are not from Earth. Dr. Ellis Silver is an ecologist who believes that humans did not evolve on Earth. Rather, we were created in another star system and brought to Earth to be imprisoned by another race of beings. What more is there to say? According to him, the reason why we suffer from certain ailments is because this isn't the type of environment that humans are made for. We get sunburns, for example, because the star on our original planet was further away from the sun, making it so we didn't burn. And our bad back? Well, gravity on Earth is much higher than the gravity our bodies are meant to have. So obviously, this adversely affects our backs. Well, that's it. I hope you learned a few new things. Maybe had some laughs. Maybe some facepalms. Maybe even a few tears if that's your thing. I certainly hope I don't start believing in some of this stuff. Our world is full of ideas and beliefs like this. They can be harmless, but they can also be extremely harmful. Just be aware of some of the things you read and post. Practice some critical thought and some common sense, and you'll be good.